What's going on, guys? This is Dave from PNP, and I'm here to talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. I just want to remind you that's the easiest place to play. There ain't too many places where you can win 20 times your money in the same night, utilizing higher lowers in the Pick'em game. And now they have Pick'em Insurance, where while you won't win the same amount of money that you did before, you can miss one and still bring home some money. So if you do it 3 times, you could potentially still get your money back if you end up missing one. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up today and use the code PNP when you do. And the $100 deposit match still stands. Underdog Fantasy. What's going on, guys? This is Dave from PNP, and I know you don't know this. You don't know my man from the right, but this is my boy, Coach Gerald Huggins. He covers HBCU sports, and he's also a Panthers fan. So if you guys checked him out when I did the Roar of the Lions in the UK, shout out to him. Shout out to my guys that cover the Lions out in the UK. This guy's going to break down some Panthers football with me today. Rashad is still enjoying the life in Hawaii. So you're going to have to deal with us for about an hour or so. I'll be trying to tell y'all that Rashad be out here balling, man. I ain't got it like him. So, Gerald, what's good, man? Go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Coach Gerald or Coach Huggins. I go by many different names. Coach G is probably my favorite one. With Draft HBCU players, we pretty much cover all HBCU sports. Primarily right now, we cover HBCU football. Our goal is to continue to promote, shine a light on the players that deserve to get a fair shot at going to the pro level from an HBCU. So, you can follow me on Instagram at the same Instagram handle, or you can follow Draft HBCU on Twitter, so you can keep up to date with us. We have a lot of guys actually in our HBCU football. I think it'll be a good fit for the Panthers. So I hope we get to talk about that as well today.
Oh, we are. Don't worry. We definitely are. There's no question. We definitely are today, and we got time. So, but, normally when we start this show, man, we always talk about how the weekend went. So, bro, man, how did your weekend go?
Oh, man, it was smooth, man. Kevin Simple kicked it with the missus and her family. I'm a D-line trainer, so I train defensive linemen. So I did that on Saturday and Sunday morning. But after that, just ate good. Went to a art show, and that was cool. I won a painting. I just gave it to my girl because she deserved it, so I gave it to her. So, it's all good. So, yeah, I had a really good weekend. How about you, man?
Nah, I mean, it was Easter weekend, so, like living in New England, bro, they treat every, holiday like this as like Thanksgiving. So,
yeah.
we pretty much ate like crazy on Sunday. Like, the insanity of the eating was crazy on Sunday. But overall, it was a pretty good weekend, and it's spring break for the kids. Yeah. So, I'm scrambling with that all week. We had our first incident yesterday. Where we thought the daycare ended at 5:30. At 5:30, and it ended at 5. So I got that famous phone call from the daycare saying, "Hey, you gonna pick your kids up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got 20 more minutes." And they're like, "No, you don't. It ends at 5." Oh, wow. But yeah. So that was the start of the week.
I understand.
My daughter's birthday's tomorrow. She turns 16. She don't want nothing major, so I appreciate my wallet. My wallet's thankful.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats. I don't have
all right. Don't worry, man. Your wallet is thankful, sir. Your wallet is thankful.
Yeah, man, for sure.
All right, the chat is already live and involved right now. Shout out to everybody in the chat.
Controlling the chat.
There's a lot of folks in the chat. It gets intense in here. But let's start off with some topics. We had a couple free agents since the last show. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Rashad is going to want to break these guys down. I know he popped the videos up already. We signed mainly 2 guys. We got one guy that came out of retirement, John Polinsky, defensive tackle. It'll be interesting how he's going to be. He retired last summer because he had some shoulder problems. The last time he played for the Detroit Lions, he actually sacked P.J. Walker in 2020. 6'2", 335. Would fit in the 3-4, so it'll be an interesting pickup to see if he can stay healthy from that effect. But as of right now, he's pretty much a depth piece if he can remain healthy, in my opinion. Your thoughts, Gerald?
Well, you need some depth. I like Carolina Panthers. I like the interior play last year, but it wouldn't hurt to get some depth within that play. I actually would like to see another, pretty decent name next to next to our guy in the middle right there. So I don't know. I kind of wanted Javon Hargrave. It was like one of my little I just wish that could happen. Bring him all home. But end of the day, Derek Brown does need some. He can't be out there every single play. So we got to make sure that rotation is strong. So if we're going to bring in a guy, he might. Like I said before, he's a camp body, but he might shocking somebody. It wouldn't be the first time a Panthers team had one of those shockers. Remember Ryan Delaire? Mm-hmm. Ryan Delaire was like, what the hell? I mean, well, he was only good against the Bucks, which is weird. Like, he just faded out anywhere else. But, yeah, you just never know. So, yeah, give him a shot. Why not? Bring him on in. He ain't killing our bank account. Fine, bring him in.
Yeah, and shout out to my guy, Grandizer. Grandizer is a Dolphins fan. So he's going to know the next guy we're going to talk about, and that's Eric Rowe, who has played for the Miami Dolphins. So we signed Eric Rowe, safety, really good pickup for us. I like the signing. I'm not sure he's going to start, but I do like the signing. It'll be interesting to see how he's going to fit with us. He's another rotation guy. I don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to start, but I like what the Panthers are doing overall. We're just picking up guys that are to make it so we can just go BPA after we take our quarterback in the first round. So I'm happy with the signing of Eric Rowe from Miami.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong. Like I love depth on defense. So for me, he's not. Could he start? Maybe. I mean, it's a toss up, but I mean, I wouldn't be mad if he did start. I mean, he's a pretty solid player. I mean, I think we have enough. If he's if he's our weakest link on our defense, I'm not mad at that per se. So, put him back there and let's see what he can do. He's proven himself, his years with the Dolphins, I believe. So I think he's pretty versatile. So he might be able to get. Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken, he could get down to nickel a little bit too and play both safety positions. So if that's the case, I'll take him. You need that versatility piece. You need those Swiss Army knives all the time.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about him briefly. Rashad's going to do the voting next week most likely, and then we'll probably add on any more players that we bring in prior to the draft. We're 16 days away before we get into that first round pick and make that decision of what we're going to do. The chat is getting crazy about the draft picks, and we're definitely going to get into that. But there was some news that came out regarding something that is near and dear to my heart that is somewhat Panthers related, but more NFL related. And that's the Sunday ticket. YouTube released the cost of NFL Sunday ticket. And you don't live in the Carolinas, just like I don't live in the Carolinas, Gerald, truth be told.
Nope.
So just like you're out here scrounging around figuring out a way to watch the Panthers play just like me. So now you have an opportunity. Like YouTube is giving you an opportunity to pay for a Sunday ticket. Okay. Are you ready for the price?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Do you have YouTube TV?
No, I do not.
All right. Unfortunately for you, it will cost you $449 for the full season. Unless you decide to purchase it prior to June 6th, and it will cost you $349.
I'm not sure if I can say this, but there is a way I've been using.
Well, we know. I think most folks in the chat who are not in the South Carolina, North Carolina region of the country have been finding their ways.
Oh yeah, we
do it.
Yeah, I think so. Actually, someone put it in the chat. I'm not gonna say who, because I don't want to
No, I'm not, and I am not going to highlight that one.
But someone did ask in the chat, what about NFL Plus? Now I do have NFL Plus, so from my understanding, I don't really get Carolina Panther games like that still, even with NFL Plus. So it doesn't give you to all games.
So the way NFL Plus works is this: you can watch the replay on NFL Plus,
but not the
right
game.
You can't watch them live, but if you have VPN, if you go out the country, you get the full package live. There's your tip for the day.
If I go out the country, okay. I'll keep that in mind. Okay.
But I mean, for me, I don't like from our perspective. For the fact that I do this show, we do live streams every week during the game. Me and Rashad typically do live commentary when it's not a home game anyway. So from my perspective, I'm probably going to end up paying for it. I already have YouTube TV. So for me, for folks who are YouTube subscribers, if you order it before June 6th, it's $249 for the whole season. After June 6th, it's $349. $249 ain't that bad. I would go to the bar every week and spend $30 a week at the bar drinking. So I would spend way more than that. So from my perspective, I could just be at the crib and I could just live stream from the house. And I could do the live stream from the home games. And I might do something like that depending on how things go next season. So for me, I'm probably going to do it. And if you add Red Zone, it's an extra $40. So it ain't that bad. I ain't complaining about it.
I don't mind Red Zone. I love that thing.
I love Red Zone.
Like, it's the one
Red Zone
greatest thing ever created. It's up there with cookies, man.
Yeah, that's like the greatest thing invented in America. When I discovered Red Zone, especially shout out to Chris Hansen because he's the icon of that. Like Red Zone don't work without Chris Hansen.
He doesn't stop talking like for hours, and he just doesn't stop talking.
I think he's only had like 2 bathroom breaks in the history of Red Zone or something like that. That's insanity. Like it was something like that. Like he rarely takes bathroom breaks. There's no commercial breaks with him. It's insanity.
Crazy.
Yeah. And they got rid of, and with DirecTV losing the contract, because I didn't learn this till later. I guess DirecTV had their own Red Zone, but it wasn't Chris Hansen. It was somebody else. But
really,
yeah. Like if you had I guess if you had the Sunday ticket package through DirecTV,
Sunday ticket had a Red Zone. Oh, okay.
They had their own Red Zone, but like everybody else got the NFL Network Red Zone, which is the one that Chris Hansen ran. So. So like I would pay for Red Zone on my phone because I had Verizon, so I could just pay Red Zone on my phone. And I would Scott Hansen should be paid an enormous amount of money. Like he should be one of the highest paid commentators on earth because the type of labor he has to do with. Dude, that man is out here commentating for 7 hours.
$100 a show.
More like 100
a
million
per game. I don't even know what he's getting paid $1 million just to do that.
At least.
Bare minimum.
He has to be.
Just do that.
Off the strength.
Yeah, man. Like that thing helps me with everything. Fantasy. It'd be days where I just have fantasy going. I have like tickets. I gotta see if they go to over under. I could do all that right on NFL Red Zone. I just sit there and just watch and just enjoy it. I don't have to flip any channels.
Yeah,
I love that.
Like one of my favorite weeks, especially during the Matt Rule era, was the bye week. I didn't have to see torture, and I got to actually see good football the entire time.
Well, listen, man. Yeah, that was a rough time.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It's not Chris Hansen. It's Scott Hansen. I stand corrected. Chris Hansen is the catch a predator dude.
Are they related?
I don't know.
They got to be related.
But he's vicious too. Like he's a problem too. That man be out here taking risks too.
Oh,
he was.
Yo, that show was hilarious. Like every time, funny. Like yo, you really you gonna get up, and they try to run. I'm like, oh my god, he don't even chase them. He's like, okay, all right, okay. So why were you here? Yo, he gets to talk every time. And then I would think about Boondocks episode, and I was like, oh nah.
Shout out to my man Nolu for the $1.99 super chat. You're right, yo, man, that's below minimum wage in some states.
Yeah, that's not it. He's getting he might get 1,000 per.
He's getting more than that.
Yeah, he's making $1 million off of
Scott Hansen's a millionaire. Scott Hansen's making probably $1 million per show. With the work that he has to do, he has to be.
Yeah, and that's just one part of his life. He has multiple streams, I'm sure. So.
All right. One more NFL topic I want to go over, and that's about the fact that Odell Beckham Jr. got signed to the Ravens. So this is wild to me. Because the Ravens, as of right now, still has no quarterback. They still haven't signed Lamar Jackson, but they out here giving OBJ up to $18 million. Like, I'm trying to... So that tells me that they have to sign Lamar. They're going to have to sign Lamar Jackson at this point. OBJ would not agree to this without that, unless he really wants the bag.
I don't think anybody else is going to give him that money, like you just said.
That's the only thing I could think of.
Like, nobody else is going to give him that much money. But listen, they just gonna have to run that back with Tyler Huntley. He almost won a playoff game.
Do you think Lamar's gonna end up there, man? Because at this point, I think they gotta come to an agreement with Lamar.
Bro,
at this point.
Listen, I'm just so used to the Ravens not having these problems for growing up. Like Newsom held it down. Like he was the man. I don't think you understand how good he was at his job. Like he was able to keep some of the best players in NFL history on the same team. Salary cap. chilling. So I don't know. I just think for the most part, Lamar's gonna probably sign the tag, sadly. But do I think he'll play? I don't know. He might.
I don't know.
He might be
I don't.
with me because I ain't going.
I don't know if he's gonna sign that tag, bro.
He might sign it though. Either that or the Ravens gonna probably draft a quarterback or something crazy, some weird something's gonna happen. But the Odell thing didn't move a needle for me because at the end of the day, this is not the Odell we think. We don't know what we're gonna get from Odell yet. We haven't seen him healthy playing football in a while. So okay, yeah, people are like, oh well, look, they got him a weapon. Oh, the guy that's coming off major surgery. Oh, that's a weapon. Oh, there's other receivers coming off of being injured all year as well. Oh, here we go. Mark Andrews and Lamar just figuring it out once again. So I don't know. I'm not really that high on the pickup, but you know they're trying to give Lamar some crumbs and hoping that he just be like, all right, whatever, I'm hungry. No, Lamar just needs to stand his ground. He'll be fine. They'll work it out. I'm sure.
All right. And somebody asked about Devin White. It wasn't on my topic, but yeah, there's talks that Devin White wants to be traded.
Okay.
How much do you think the Bucs want for Devin White?
Nothing I'm willing to give up.
Yeah.
They're gonna ask for a second. They might be crazy to ask for a first if it's us, but I don't think he's the first. I'll give him a second, and I'll give him. Oh my God! No, you can't give up Frankie. You can't give up Frankie. No. Would you give up Frankie for Devin? No.
No.
Okay, me either. Okay, so I can't give up Frankie.
No.
It'd be pointless to give up Shaq. I mean, we just restructured his whole joint. You know, he gave us a little bread back. So we wouldn't get rid of Shaq. And I don't think they would take Shaq either. Or maybe they would. Who knows? But
then you got to deal with Shaq just restructured his deal. I think that would be so cutthroat to do that.
Yeah,
bro.
you can't.
Like Shaq gave up.
He gave up bread.
He sacrificed money to stay here. That would be so cutthroat.
I don't think they should do that either. But I mean,
nah, they can't.
I mean, I'll give him a second, and that's just being like really nice. I really don't want to do that because we need our first and second round pick severely bad. We need those to hit. Like, we need that to be instant day one starter hits on our first two picks. So I can't give that up. So this is me.
All right. Yeah, now that was an interesting one. I just wanted to bring that up. So,
oh, Lord. Shaq. Someone said they'll give him Shaq, Dante Jackson, and a 39th pick for Devin White? Oh, yeah.
Nah.
That's a lot.
Nah, that's hatred. That's hating you. That's hating your heart. And then you got to worry about the contract for Devin for Jackson.
Devin's gonna
Dante Jackson.
Devin's gonna want that. He gonna want that
contract.
Money. He gonna want the money. Like linebacker signed not fully. Was this fully guaranteed? Smith, not fully guaranteed. Smith got a lot of money. Smith, I think he making $20 million a year linebacker. I think he don't have an agent either. Oh shoot, they paid him before Lamar. I just thought
they did. They did pay him before Lamar. They paid him before Lamar.
It's crazy.
With no agent. So when everybody keeps telling me about this agent, you got to have an agent. It's baloney. It's not true. It's not accurate. It's a fallacy.
That is insane.
They paid that man before.
I think.
All right.
It's okay. I'm gonna move on. I'm sorry. It's crazy.
No, you can go ahead. Go in, man.
Like, I mean, I don't know. It's like if I'm Lamar, I'm like, yo, he just got here. He just got here. He smooth just got here like last week. But
at the same time, when you think about it, bro, think about the quarterbacks that the Ravens historically have paid. They didn't pay Trent Dilfer after Trent Dilfer won the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean,
because they didn't think Trent Dilfer was the reason why they won the Super Bowl. They did play Joe Flacco, but Joe Flacco bet on himself.
He sure did.
Right? And it was clear that Joe Flacco was the reason. Like it was like the defense helped, but Joe Flacco played the playoff run of his life.
He sure as heck did.
To get that money. Right? And right now we got Lamar that has been pretty much won the MVP, betting on himself, but unfortunately he got hurt a few times. And he's getting penalized for it. And it's like his MVP didn't happen.
He got hurt in the pocket, man. It's just like Cam. Cam didn't really get hurt running. He got hurt.
No, he got hurt in the pocket.
He was like, what do you want him to do? Like he got hurt in the pocket. Like I'm sorry. Like people. Yes. Okay. And I know I sound like I said, but even Cam is not like people think he's like a scrambling quarterback. Yo, Cam was a pocket guy that literally can run whatever the hell he decides he wants to. The same thing with Lamar. He's a pocket guy. He gets hurt in the pocket. He knows how to protect himself. Yeah, he gonna lower his shoulder every now and again. But guess what? That's what you want to see out of your quarterback. Other quarterbacks do it too. We praise them though, and I'm not gonna get into that tonight because I had a good day, and I don't want my head to start flaming up. But certain people get judged.
Oh no! Look, the next topic is gonna make your head scramble. Because I'm gonna ask you a question, man. Who you got for this number 1 pick, man? Who you want? Young, Stroud, Richardson. Who you want? Because now I'm gonna tell you right now. This is the speculation that's been going down right now.
Okay.
Everybody's been pointing like the speculation when we traded up to 1 has been Stroud. Now it looks like it's leaning towards Young. The odds are leaning towards Young. There's been talks that there's a split in the room. Some people are saying it might be Young. Some people are leaning towards Young, and there's some people in the room that want Richardson. I'm not going to name which side, but I'm going to give you. I'm in the hot take business. I'm in the occasional hot take business. I'm not as hot take as my man Cody. Shout out to Cody and the C3 podcast. But one thing is certain. I'm starting to think that the decision comes down to Young or Richardson. And I don't think Stroud's involved at all anymore, if he was initially. So who do you have?
I always thought it was gonna be Bryce Young. Like, because it's just like that's just the guy that. I mean, ever since the Panthers got the number 1 pick, I'm like, okay, they're gonna go for clearly the best quarterback in the draft. I mean, you just don't. You go if you got your number 1 overall pick, you go for the best guy that you got, and you need a quarterback, go for him. Now they do some weird draft day movie thing where they trade back the first and get a third and a 10th. I don't know, something weird like that. Don't see it happening. Not really tripping. But at the end of the day, I think Bryce Young is going to be the pick. However, I saw that head coach kind of likes Richardson. That's the reports anyway. I don't really believe I've been seeing, but if you can slightly confirm it. If that's the case, if the head coach, y'all didn't hire the guy to not, to just give him a quarterback he doesn't want. You hire him because there's a quarterback that he wants. So let's just, if that's the case, if he really wants Richardson, then that's going to be our quarterback. And guess what? In Madden, he is killing right now in my team. So listen, his ceiling is so freaking high. It's just that his floor is historically low. Because it's a very small sample size. And I'm honestly, this is like my outside of like scouting tape. This is just my conspiracy theorist tape. This is a social experiment. Anthony Richardson, no one, out of nowhere, people just started grading him incredibly high. And this is like mid-season. I'm like, this is really happening. This came out of nowhere. To me, this came out of nowhere. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really know that much about Richardson until maybe week 2 of this year, this past season. And then all of a sudden, we're talking about number 1 overall grade on this guy.
But that's what happens when you don't have a quarterback in the draft that's not considered generational. Like, I don't think we're considering none of these guys generational. Like, we're not comparing these guys to the ilk of a Trevor Lawrence, of a Andrew Luck, of a Cam Newton. Like, we're not comparing none of those guys like this. And I know you guys are going to come in the chat and tell me, yeah, we are. No, the hell you're not. You're not. Y'all have been talking. Some of y'all at one point was talking about tanking again to get the guy for next year because the guys next year are generational.
Who said that?
Look, listen, let me tell you guys. Let me tell you something.
Again?
Before we traded up to 1, there were folks thinking about getting like Drake May and the Caleb guy and all these other cats. Like, I am in these Panther Twitter streets. I am in these Panther spaces. I hear it. Before we traded up to 1, I synced it. And some of them spaces are recorded. I've heard the takes. I've heard them.
Tank again? Y'all not tired of this, yo?
Yo, that's my point. I don't understand why some folks just like the agony of this shit. I don't. I started P&P in 2017. I've seen this squad go to the playoffs once since this show has started. I want to see it again. I would like to see it again, please.
Yeah, I just listen. Someone brought up a good point about about Tepper. Bryce Young would have been the Tepper's pick, and I'm just like,
well, Bryce Young. Well, if Bryce Young is the Tepper's pick, that's the pick. Let me be clear. Let's not.
I agree. That might be Tepper's guy. Bryce Young just seems like he's gonna give you that. I don't know. It's like like a Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott. They just always gonna say the right thing. They don't look like they're gonna bother. They look like the perfect QB to bring into your organization. But I don't think Frank cared about that. He want his guy. He want the 6'5", 240-pound guy that he believed. Because coaches, like I always say, coaches have this arrogance about them. They think they can make anybody good.
Mm-hmm. I keep telling folks that.
Right. Hey, granted, I am not on the Anthony Richardson hype train. I'm always going to show love. A brother trying to get his money to help his family out, whatever. Cool. He gonna get his money. I'm just not gonna give it to him if I was in that spot because I just don't have enough. I don't see enough. I just think he's not as fluid when it comes to just the art of throwing the football as the other quarterbacks that are ahead of him. I personally like Hendon Hooker more than him. I think Hook is going to have the best overall career, so out of the four.
He's going to go, he's going to, I'll tell folks, well, let me go through these super chats real quick, but then we'll get to this. Shout out to AJ Haynes for the super chat. Don't need a Mike linebacker when we need a 3-4 outside linebacker more. Louisville's going to line up next to Shaq, and we either going to draft a guy at 39, Sanders for or third. I still want a middle linebacker, man. I still want a middle linebacker. I just do.
I'm used to having a really good middle linebacker.
I'm not asking for Luke Kuechly because I know that's what everybody want. I'm not asking for Luke.
I'll take Dan.
But can I get a Beeson?
I'll take Dan.
Something close, or a Morgan.
I'll take Dan Morgan.
Anybody, anybody, but we've been dealing with.
I'll take Dan Morgan easily. That's bare minimum. I'll take that.
All right.
So,
shout out.
No, you go ahead.
Shout out to Snowman 33, CJ, man. Shout out to my man Austin. Look, man, it ain't looking like it's gonna be CJ. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. It's not looking good. And I warned you guys about this when the whole debate about when San Fran traded up to 3 a few years ago about they traded up to 3 for somebody and then they started doing evaluations and then it turned into Trey Lance. So things can change, man. The speculation is that they haven't made a decision yet, but right now, the handicap right now is Bryce.
Dave, shouldn't it just be about who the head coach wants?
It should, but that's not how it works. You know it.
I hear
it's
you.
It's about what the owner wants.
Well, listen.
But the key is, you get to the point where you make it. What you want is what the owner wants. You make it so they match. Well, you try to reduce the conflict because if you don't reduce the conflict, then the owner's going to hit that hammer.
This is a huge deal. This draft pick is literally going to make or break his tenure in Carolina. So you need to pick who you want, and you have phone. I'm not picking who somebody else wants. I'm picking who I want. This is literally my job on the line. My little first draft.
But you know how your job can really be on the line?
What?
If you pick the guy that the owner doesn't want, your job is busted off gate.
If you win,
it's true.
Then
the thing is, look, Frank Wright got a 4-year deal, and I said it from the gate when they hired him. I said, if that man don't win the division first year, his hot seat is steaming. His hot seat is flaming because he only got 4 years, bruh. This division's too wide open for you to be sitting here being 7-8, 7-10, and not showing something for it. You cannot be mediocre this year unless you won the division being mediocre.
So, Dave, I'll ask you this. Do you have trust in Caldwell, McCown, and Wright to
absolutely
develop any quarterback?
Absolutely.
So are you mad if we pick Richardson?
The fan base will be.
No, but I'm you. All right, based on your trust of McCown, Caldwell, and Wright.
No.
Not gonna be. You wouldn't be mad if we pick Richardson.
No, there's only one quarterback. There's only one quarterback they take number one. I'll be furious with.
Will.
Oh yeah, I'll be furious about that.
He's bad, but I mean, people have been trying to find different little excuses for him. I'm like, listen, I get it. but I like a player.
Because the thing for me, the one thing that I will give Richardson credit for is that I think Richardson has the highest upside in this draft from a quarterback standpoint. Yeah. He has the absolute highest upside. So if they make the decision to go number one with him, I wouldn't agree with him being number one overall, because I agree with you that Hooker's the third best quarterback in this class from an order standpoint. Mm-hmm. But that being said, if they make the decision to take Richardson number one, I have faith that the coaching staff will be able to make this work. I think the fan base will be pissed because they know that Andy Dalton's going to be starting. But we can still win the division with Andy Dalton.
Hey,
I think we can, but I don't think the fan base think we can. I think we can.
I mean, okay. I can't believe we got Andy. I'd rather have Brissett than Dalton, but that's just me. I really like this way more than Andy Dalton.
The only reason why I'm fine with the Dalton pickup is because of the fact that Dalton is comfortable being the guy, accepting that a rookie's probably going to start. Dalton, as much as we feel about Dalton now as a player, the facts are the facts. He's a quarterback that got the start when he first got into the league. So he knows what that takes. And he was successful when he got there. Mm-hmm. You can say whatever you want about him. That man went to the playoffs numerous times early in his career. You know what I'm saying? You can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want about him right now. But from an NFL experience standpoint, mm-hmm. he knows how to do it. Okay. And that's what I said when we signed him. So I get it. I thought Brissett was going to be in anyway, too, because he already knows the system. Because he was there for right. Yeah. But when Dalton got signed, I said, that tells me that they're going to probably draft a guy to start potentially week one. And Dalton's a guy that can relate to that because that's what he had to do.
Well, I know one thing. I hope they don't think Richardson's going to be the guy to start week one.
There's no way. Now, that's suicide. That's career suicide, bro.
They just assume the whole Florida big black quarterback thing that this guy's going to do what Cam did. I really want people to understand that Cam was a 10 times better quarterback than Richardson was in college. And he has...
Bruh.
It's different.
Listen, let me explain something to y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go now. Like the P&P, the chat cast understand that I watched the South Carolina Gamecocks. Cam Newton traumatized my fandom of the South Carolina Gamecocks in 2010. Traumatized it. He single-handedly destroyed the opportunity for South Carolina to ever win in the SEC. They've never won the SEC. Ever. Like, ever. That was their best chance. And he traumatized us twice in the same season. Yep. Twice. He single-handedly beat our ass by himself the same season. Dude was a monster with hardly nobody else that got drafted in offensively on that team. He did that shit by himself.
Literally by himself.
Literally. He damn near took us to the Super Bowl by himself offensively.
Whole time. Honestly, the only thing. Oh God, I don't want to talk about the Super Bowl. I've learned. You watch the drops and all the other crap. The things they did all year to get there. They just said, I don't want to do it anymore. So the fix is in. The head coach at Bluefield State already told him. Like I said, I know y'all got the script. I know it because there's no way in hell. They wasn't gonna let Peyton Manning lose to the Dabber. Come on, man.
The Dabber.
Nobody was gonna let that happen, man. So that's my. I'm not.
Listen.
Super Bowl 50.
I tell Patriot fans every year. I said there was only one time in my life that I rooted for y'all, and that was against the Denver Broncos in that AFC Championship game.
Nah, man. Von Miller was not to be. I ain't gonna lie. That was probably the greatest football player run I've ever seen in my life. Like that dude really he won a Super Bowl by damn near by himself.
Yeah.
Yo, that's why them edges, man. That's why people want to get rid of Brian Burns. Oh boy. People wanted to get rid of Brian Burns. I'm like, why would y'all trade? Literally, this guy's gonna be a top 5 edge rusher, like probably by next year. Like he's almost there. Y'all want to trade him for what? Okay. I'm not sorry. It's just Panthers Twitter. I have to unfollow y'all. sometimes during the off season because it's bad. So I just stick to my HBCU stuff and come back around like July once the draft and all that other stuff is over. Because man, the hot takes and the Panthers, man, boy, Brian Burns trading him.
It almost like there was only a couple of choices of who when we traded up to one. That was one of the players on the list. When I saw that list, I understood why it was DJ Moore. I was like, well, DJ has been a real guy. It's been real.
Yeah, I guess it can't be.
Speaking of wide receivers, did you hear about this? I guess there's a couple teams on their draft board that only has one wide receiver with a first round grade, which tells me that at 39, the Panthers might have the pick of the litter at wide receiver, which is something that I didn't think I was gonna expect happening. Because I think, like me and Rashad last week was talking about maybe potentially trading up, if depending on which quarterback we take, trading up to go get a guy. But if there's multiple teams in the league that only got one wide receiver with a first round grade, I don't think that's necessary anymore. And we're already setting up shop to do BPA, considering that we picked up Adam Thielen, we picked up DJ Chark. So from our perspective, I think, look, we can just wait this out and see what happens. We might not need to use any draft capital to trade up and get a pretty damn good wide receiver, because I think this wide receiver class is deep, and there might be some pretty damn good ones on the HBCU front that are starting to climb up the draft charts.
So, I want Shaq Davis from South Carolina State. I want him to stay in Carolina. And Jadakiss Bonds is from North Carolina. So I would like either one of those guys. I mean, listen, the Panthers, they need Dave Lyon. He was happy that DJ left. You always hating on DJ? You want to know?
Let me tell you something, man. Shout out to A-Cash. I'm not lying. Let me be clear. I do fantasy. I'm a fantasy guy.
Oh, so that's what
I pulled up the numbers when you talk about targets versus catches. And this percentage was low compared to some of the top wide receivers in fantasy football. They were low. And some of it could have been because he had a lot of droughts, which he did. Some of it was because of the fact that the quarterbacks that he had, because he had some terrible ass quarterbacks. And it's a combination of both. But it doesn't change the fact that he did have a lot of drops. Like, let's not get foolish here. Because there's some Bears fans that while they were bragging about that trade when we traded up to one, some of them is starting to see the reality that if Justin Fields don't get more accurate, it's going to be all for naught. They're about to find out what type of quarterback they got in Justin Fields. This is the year. Because if he out here throwing it, look, Sam Darnold had a higher completion percentage than Justin Fields last season. I'm not making it up. That's what the numbers show.
I completely understand. So, but DJ Moore, I will say he ain't dropped many passes though. I will throw that out there. I'm a subscribe. I'll be on my PFF thing. So according to PFF, his drop percentage is 4.5, which is pretty much that's up there. That's like slot. That's like slot receiver hands. So he might have dropped the ones that you ain't want him to drop, but he didn't drop a lot of them according to PFF.
Yeah, most of it was quarterback. Well, last year it was much improved, but the hate he's talking about was from the year before. Was 2021.
Oh no, that was bad.
Oh yeah, 2021 was bad. Like that's what he's talking about.
That wasn't his best.
2022 he's cleaned it up. 2021 was bad. Like it was bad.
He had the drop season 21. He did.
Yeah. That's what he's talking about. Okay. Trust me, it got to the point where DJ Moore cussed out Rashad during training camp.
Fair enough. I guess he was upset. I'm sure.
Yeah, well, he said he didn't watch the show. He said his brother watched the show. Somebody recorded it. So, it ended up being in one of our intros. It was pretty cool. Shout out to DJ Moore, man. I love him. I took a picture with him and everything. Cool dude. Very good. Very cool dude. But that's the joke. That's the joke of the album. But nah, man, like I think everybody's panicking about the wide receiver situation for the quarterback that we draft. And I do agree that we got to get weapons for him, but I don't think we're going to have an issue getting a wide receiver. But that makes me question how good this class is if there's folks that don't think there's only one first-round great wide receiver.
I don't think the class is that deep, personally.
Really?
I mean, I guess when I say deep, as in like how many are actually good, more than just how many there are. I mean, I guess for me, what do the Panthers need right now? Okay, Thielen's going to be our slot guy, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
Maybe. Okay, and our X is going to be
Chark.
Who? Chark?
Probably Chark, if he can stay healthy.
What about Marshall?
He could do it too. I got a lot of look, man.
People like Marshall. They drafted him kind of high, so
I like Marshall. I do. I like him. He's a fantasy sleeper for me this year.
Oh God, no. Dylan gonna eat that fantasy stuff up. He gonna get all them little dink and dunks.
Yeah, PPR. Thielen's gonna be a problem.
He's gonna eat him, whoever, and Miles Sanders better get better. His hands better, be rock solid. Well, not rock solid.
Yeah, I'm gonna start going through the data from last year.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Miles Sanders needs to get his hands right because he needs to catch the ball. And that tight end wise, they're gonna eat. I'm telling you, everything is set up for this court. Whoever rookie quarterback we got, listen. If you don't see your first, second, third read, dump it on. Safety blanket. We need to get him some safety blanket.
So do you think? Because I've been on we're gonna run the ball a lot. Like I've been on that. He's gonna run the ball a lot, Steve. I think Frank Reich is gonna try to push this ball a lot. I think he's gonna lean on the defense a lot. Okay. And he's been talking as such, right? So I think I think the perception that we're going to be out here slanging it is a fallacy. And it seems like we fall for this trap every year since Cam has left. Everybody thinks everybody we get is going to sling the rock. And I keep telling folks, nah, we're going to get this ball to these running backs. And we're going to have this committee. And we're going to see how this thing going to go. And we're going to play this good defense.
I'm cool with that. I would have just, loved to have, my guy last year, Foreman. I would have loved to see that, because he was – I think everybody fell in love with him, Panthers Nation. From what I saw, everybody loved him. So, is Miles Sanders an upgrade?
Considering what he got in Chicago, because he didn't get nothing in Chicago, and it sounds like he was given an indication that he's going to get the start there. And I don't think Herbert's going to just give the job to him.
Well, yeah, Herbert got to stay healthy, but if Foreman's healthy, Foreman's the guy. I like Sanders though. Don't get me wrong. I don't think I don't know. I guess I got to really. His hands aren't horrible. Is he going to be your consistent out the backfield back? No, catching the ball out the backfield. No, but
you got Chuba, but Chuba's hands has got to improve too.
Well,
his chance got better over the season.
Well, yeah,
got better through this, but at the beginning,
maybe there's another running back that we don't know of that might just be interesting.
Pop up.
Yeah, listen, you gotta, like you said, establish. That's been the Panthers though. Except for when Cam's rookie year, they was throwing that thing all over the dang field. That was fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll ask you this question, and chat, do not answer it. Can you name the two quarterbacks that have thrown for 4,000 yards for the Carolina Panthers?
Well, Cam is one.
Yeah.
You said two?
There's two.
Well, Cam only did it once.
Yes, that is correct. His rookie season, the only year he threw for 4,000 yards.
So he broke the rookie record. So someone definitely did it before him, but wasn't a rookie. It wasn't Collins.
No.
It damn sure wasn't. Was it Pete? It wasn't Pete.
Nope.
Okay. It had to be. Nah, it's not Jake. It's not Jake.
It's not Jake.
It's not Jake.
Jake almost did it though, but it wasn't him.
Who am I missing? Collins, Pete, DeLong.
We actually got to interview him.
Oh wait, hold on. Tell me. It ain't the head coach.
Don't look in the chat. Don't look in the chat. Do not look in the chat.
His name start with an F? First name?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Then I don't. 4,000.
Steve Berline. 1999.
Hey yo.
He still owns the record too.
Oh, wait.
So whenever somebody tells me that they want to slang the field, I remind them that Steve Berline has the single season record for the most passing yards in the season in 1999. He still owns that record. His only Pro Bowl season too.
Oh my God. How did I forget?
Shout out to Gil Haskell. Shout out to Patrick Jeffers. Shout out to Muchin Muhammad.
Yeah, I wasn't watching Panthers in '99. I was watching the Rams.
Greatest show on turf.
Yeah, bro.
Ironically enough.
Listen,
same division then too.
I was watching the Rams and the Titans because I love Steve McNair.
Yeah,
that's why. Listen, I was okay. Yeah, I was okay.
Vinny Testaverde.
Yeah, Vinny. Oh well, That was
Oldest touchdown pass was thrown by him in Panthers history. He had the record until Tom Brady broke it. He threw the touchdown pass to Steve Smith.
Could imagine so. I mean, me as a Panthers fan, when I became a Panthers fan in 02, 03, I was pretty stable for a while. So then I had that little turmoil.
The little turmoil.
Little Matt Moore, Jimmy Clausen era. That was a little fun. And I was like, fuck, what are we going to do?
Yo, the thing about Matt Moore, the most awesome thing about Matt Moore was the greatest quarterback the Panthers ever had when nothing was on the line. When there was nothing on the line, Matt Moore was your guy. Like when you're out of the playoffs, Matt Moore will win you some games, man. Yeah. Matt Moore will get it in.
I know, but
but when it is on the line, Matt Moore was atrocious.
Listen, man, it's going to be hard. Whoever the quarterback is, I know people don't want to hear it, but listen, it's going to be hard to just step right. Those are some big shoes they got to fill. I'm sorry. I know that, I know Cam didn't win that Super Bowl. Mike Remmers didn't win the Super Bowl. I don't care about it. It wasn't Cam's fault. Mike Remmers.
Exactly. It was Mike Remmers. Mike Remmers has cost 2 African-American quarterbacks championships. Patrick Mahomes and Cam Newton. He's cost 2. He alone has cost championships to us.
Hey, yo.
Yo, he has. He has.
But listen, I just want people to let the new quarterback just be them. Don't try and compare them to. I'm the biggest Cam fan ever. Don't try and compare them to Cam. Every little thing they do, 2 totally different players more than likely. All right, they're gonna have to bring their own little flavor to Carolina's and bring it to Charlotte like Cam did on his own. Like people love him, or the people that not everybody love him, but for the most part, he did what he had to do in Carolina. I know we ain't won the big one, but it wasn't all his fault. So let the new guy figure it out. Give him some time. And just be. Well, I'm not saying be nice. It's Panthers fans. It's never nice. So mean. Panthers fans are mean as hell during the season. Unless they are.
I think somebody there was a ranking. I think we're some of the meanest fans on Twitter.
I can see that. I'm very much.
But when you look, I gotta find the list. I think Sheena. Shout out to Sheena Quick. She put up the list. She put up the power rankings of the meanest fans, and it was kind of amazing. Like some of the teams were actually good. Like that there was toxicity within the fan base.
It's a lot.
But like there is a lot. So I want to talk. Look, I want to get into some HBCU prospects because I know that is absolutely your bread and butter. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about some guys that could potentially end up, whether we end up drafting one or possibly picking one up as a free agent after the draft's over. Mm-hmm. I know you're enamored with Shaq Davis, and I know the team really wants us to take a wide receiver. So talk about Shaq Davis. Another kid I like at the wide receiver position is Jadakiss Bonds. Mm-hmm. We could talk about Xavier Smith, too, from FAMU, who's been climbing up the draft boards as of late.
Correct. So, okay. This is what I'll say. I think the Panthers need a legit deep threat, like someone that literally could force a defense to have to keep a cover 2 shell over top, or have to. You just gotta have somebody deep every time you play against us. You need that sort of fear. That's what teams when they played the Chiefs, they was always fearful of damn, if we play cover 0 or we roll that safety down a little too shallow, we're gonna get beat over the top. So I think Shaq Davis brings that aspect because he runs a 4.4. He's 6'4", 220-something pounds. He has played against every team in the Carolinas, except for Citadel, if I'm not mistaken. But every FBS team, Clemson, South Carolina, he played against them, and he played well against FBS competition. Let's see what else. He played in an All-Star game. He performed well during the All-Star week. The only knock I have on Shaq Davis is, he's for Panthers fans, I'm sorry I'm about to say the curse word, but he's like a tall version of Ted Ginn. And listen, just hear me out. Hear me out. I know I said a curse word. But just think of the plays that Ted Ginn made. When we were like, oh, boy, he threw it to Ted again. And he just makes this miraculous catch for 80 yards, and that's what we're going to get. That's Shaq Davis to a certain extent. Shaq Davis, he's going to get you a big play, but he may drop that slant route. He may drop that end cut. He's not really the best route runner either, but I will say for the most part, his best routes that he runs are his deeper routes. So he can take the top off of defense. And for a team that, has is going to have a young quarterback and is trying to really establish the running game, it never hurts to have someone that you can play action and throw the ball deep. Or when you're in the red zone, you have a 6'4" guy that plays outside of his frame, really large catch radius. You can just throw it up to him and let him have fun as well. So I like Shaq Davis in that aspect. Jadakiss Bonds from Hampton is the best overall receiver from HBCUs because he could do a little bit of what Shaq does, over the top, catch the ball, run with it, take it to the house. Or, he could be a possession receiver more like a Dallas Daniels, something like that. So do the Panthers have possession receivers already? Yeah, and Adam Thielen's going to be primarily our possession slot receiver. But I believe Jadakiss Bonds can play in the slot. He has done it. He played in the CAA, which is one of the best conferences in college football. And he was all CAA every year. Then he was all Big South, and he was all MEAC. So he was always an all-conference player. And he interviewed well. From all of the scouts that I've talked to, he interviewed well. And I think he's going to get brought into Carolina. Carolina has a radar on him because he's from North Carolina. So Mark Evans is another guy. Do we need offensive line help on the Panthers? I think our offensive line is pretty solid. Mark Evans could play left tackle, left guard, or right tackle. Not really a center. He's another guy. He could fit right in. We got a young quarterback. We need him to be protected. So you have a guy that could be a swing tackle. He can play guard or tackle. And that's, you need that versatility across the front five. So a guy like him, you bring him in, maybe a day 3 guy, or you bring him in, or preferred free agent. That's not a bad selection either. Let's see what else. Panthers kind of have a need for running back still, in my personal opinion. So there's a guy from Fayetteville State that's really strong. Oh, God, hold on. What I forgot his freaking – God, all these names are jumping together, Dave. Hold on. We have Emmanuel Wilson from Fort Valley State. Emmanuel Wilson, he's about 5'11", 230 pounds. Say about 5% body fat. He just took a visit up there to Green Bay. I believe the Carolinas are interested in him as well, from what I've been told. He's a big back, fit out the backfield, real one-cut guy. He's going to get the yardage you need. He's kind of like Foreman in a sense, but we compared him to Latavius Murray. And I think a guy like Latavius Murray that can catch the ball at the backfield, but he's going to get you those yards, those hard-earned yards that we need. Definitely we have a young quarterback. So for the most part, I think need-wise, that's what the Panthers really need. Linebacker-wise, now Dave, could I see Aubrey Miller in the Panthers playing that mic? Maybe. Let's see. What conference in HBCU do you see as the strongest?
You know what it is. You know what it is. I don't know why you trying to. I don't know why you're not trying to answer that question. You know what it is.
It's the MEAC for the FCS, clearly, because for the most part they have the better pros right now, better pro players. More celebration wins, more out of conference versus wins versus when it goes MEAC versus SWAC, they have more wins. Yeah, I'm gonna go MEAC. I mean, that's just. I mean, wow, look at me. I'm a CIAA guy, but they've shown that they are the premier conference in Black college football or HBCU football. There's someone in the chat that really hates the word black, so I'm just trying to whatever. But just okay.
I haven't been paying attention to the chat too much. I'm just trying to catch the good questions that's in here. Any good cornerbacks we can look for to be our CB3? That's a good question because we could sure as hell use another corner.
Now, it depends. Do you like a smaller, kind of shiftier guy? Do you want the great one of the best athletes in the draft? Or you want a 6'2" guy with really long arms who doesn't have the foot speed per se, but he's one of the best jammers you're going to see, best press coverage corners you're going to see. So we have Keenan Isaac from Alabama State. When you look at his tape, look at the games he played against FBS opponents. He played UCLA. He played Auburn, and he played another FBS. He played at 3 or 4 FBS schools. So a guy like that, like I said, his foot speed is not really there per se, but he's really good if he gets his hands on you. When he gets his hands on you early in your route, you're not going to get your route off. You're not going to be able to stack him. It's not going to happen. However, when he goes against shiftier guys, if he's not able to get his hands on you early in your route, then you have a chance to beat him. So, but, I mean, for the Panthers, it wouldn't hurt. I mean, I'm kind of used to those Panthers corners kind of having some length to them, about 6'1" and up. Kind of rangy guy, long arms, Bradbury, Norman, kind of longer guys. Chris Gamble, who's I still think is the best we ever had in the cornerback position in the Panthers organization. So he's like,
I agree.
yeah, like that's my guy. Yeah, he's my guy. Like, I
If
think
they're like, we got to interview Steve Smith Sr.
Mhm.
If there's another player that I want to interview before I ever shut this show down, it's him. But he is an impossible guy to find. By far.
And you know what? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing.
Because I don't think he wasn't appreciated enough for me. Like
he's probably the best. He is the best corner we've ever had.
Ever. By far. And he did it longer than anybody else we had. Everybody else
absolutely
open door. Like, remember the
like we're like when we talk about like the greatest corners in Panthers history, he's number one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it's him.
He's one.
Ken Lucas.
I guess he would probably be two. He's probably two by default. Captain Munnerlyn. Eric Davis, maybe. But Davis, Eric Davis was up there.
He is.
But like when you sit down and think about it, he's one.
The gap is pretty big.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's Chris Gamble, then we could just throw a toss. I mean, you got to.
But let me be clear, because like when you talk about like corners that's had great years, like Josh Norman's 2015 year was a great year.
It was.
But when you talk about But when you talk about sustainment, it's Chris Gamble, then it's everybody else.
Yeah, I agree. But I will say for the Panthers, I will say Isaiah Bolden from Jackson State, he blew away his pro day. He killed it. 40-inch vert, 4.40. He's a kick returner, punt returner, 6'2" corner. I believe he can play safety as well. That's a guy I think Carolina would love to bring. I would love for Carolina to bring it on the defense side of the ball for a cornerback. Love it. So that's if I had to pick a corner, the top corner for HBCU football, definitely him. Definitely. Like he will give you similar production to what the guy from Fayetteville State did last year. But then again, he's a punt returner and kick returner, so you're getting a lot. You're actually getting a really good deal if you get Isaiah Bolden as a preferred free agent, or if you get him a day 3 guy.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. Because I mean, there's some pretty damn good prospects in HBCU world right now.
Oh,
pretty damn good prospects.
Ricky Manning Jr. Lord, I forgot about Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky Manning Jr.
That's
Shout out to Stephen V. Draft order, quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, defensive end, linebacker, cornerback, running back. Not fam. I think, and I stand by it. What we take in 39 is going to be BPA. Like, I think if there's a really good high-level linebacker sitting there or a really good edge rusher sitting there, we're going to take him.
Yeah, I'm not feeling the wide receiver, tight end in round 2.
I don't know, man. If Kincaid's there, you got to consider it.
You don't think the wide receivers we have right now, we could just add.
No, but like if you can get like the best tight end in the draft at 39, you gotta consider it. If we're serious about utilizing the tight end position, which everybody keeps trying to convince me that they are, off the fact that Frank Rice, that's what he likes to use. But I gotta believe it. Like I've been hearing about we're gonna use this tight end thing since Greg Olsen left, and I haven't seen it.
So
I gotta be convinced.
Who do we have right now? We have Trimble.
We got Trimble, Hurst, Stephon Sullivan.
Oh, Thomas is gone, right?
Ian Thomas is there too. Yeah, I forgot about
right. That's right. Okay, so then we got 4. We got 4 tight ends right now.
Yeah.
We ain't drafting the tight end in the second round, man.
Well, Kincaid's different, bro. Kincaid's different, man.
5 tight ends on a roster.
No, who said that we were gonna keep all 5? If we draft one, one's gonna go.
So you get rid of?
Probably Stephon ain't gonna make it, bro. Stephon ain't gonna make it.
So you want to keep 4 tight ends or 3?
I think they're gonna play more 2 tight end sets. Like I'm a believer that they're gonna do more 2 tight end sets. I'm wrong. If you're gonna play 2 tight end sets, you're gonna have to keep 4. You're gonna have to. That's
a lot of tight ends, man.
But it's a numbers game, right? Like if you're telling me that you're gonna want to play great top 5 defense, that tells. And then unless you really believe, like there's some folks within this Panthers fan base that don't believe we have a number 1 wide receiver right now. So if you don't believe you have a number 1 wide receiver right now, that tells me that you're gonna play more 2 tight ends.